everybody, I'm Joe Pro, and today I have Mr. Dynamite Penguins here with me.
Hello.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. So today we're going to be running through our E3 2018 predictions. See, I can't even talk. And we will be, the two of us will be bouncing back and forth some predictions for what we think the Nintendo Direct will be covering and the rest of Nintendo's presentation this E3. And we might mention some other companies as well in there, but definitely be keeping the focus on Nintendo. So instead of wasting you guys' time anymore, we're going to go ahead and jump right into that. And we'll be going back and forth on those. So I think the number one thing that a lot of people are expecting, and it's already confirmed, is Super Smash Brothers. That's basically 100% lock. I mean, it's been confirmed by Nintendo. That's going to take up a lot of their Direct and a lot of their show floor presence at the E3. So we're going to start with that, but first I wanted to let you guys know a little bit more about Dynamite Penguins. He has a YouTube channel. You guys should check it out. There's a link in the description, and we'll surely talk a little bit more about that later, but he does some great stop motion stuff, and if you saw my last feature, the top 10 2D platformers, he was very involved with that.
I died.
Yeah, he died a very, very fierce and fiery, painful death, unfortunately, but he's back for one time only to talk about some games. So do you want to go ahead and talk about your expectations for Super Smash Brothers and what you think may or may not be revealed?
Yeah, I'll just get straight to the point. I'm all about the characters. Smash Bros is my favorite game, so it's probably what I'm most excited to see. So first of all, I think we're going to finally see the Inklings playable, of course.
Right.
And after that, I think we're going to get two more characters in the Direct, which will be Captain Toad and Rayman. At least I can hope for Rayman. I've been wanting that for a while. But so that's just for the Direct, and then I think they'll go to the Treehouse and they will show off the Ice Climbers probably, because they have footage right after the Direct, so that's how they get people watching Treehouse. And at the Invitational, I think they'll reveal Ridley from Metroid.
About time, right?
Yeah. I mean, I predict that every time, but this time, maybe. I mean, they need like a big character to reveal, and I feel like they've kind of revealed all the big ones, like, let's say now it's like Crash Bandicoot or something.
Right, definitely. So, are you a big Smash Brothers fan, or kind of more in the middle?
Oh, I'm a huge fan. It's my favorite game. It's the main reason I'm a Nintendo fan.
Nice.
Playing Melee as a kid.
Yeah, I had no idea that you liked it that much. I always pegged you more for just loving Kirby and Rayman.
Yeah, it's just my favorite game.
That's great. Yeah, there's, I mean, so many Nintendo fans, that's their favorite thing. And it's definitely not my favorite, but it's something, that I love to play with friends and put a lot of time into. I kind of agree with you. I think that we'll definitely see a few characters. We'll get one during, I think the Direct is going to start with Smash Brothers, and it's going to show a new character, and then at some point, definitely in the Invitational, we'll probably maybe see another character, but that's probably going to be Ice Climbers for the Invitational, I think, and then, because Ice Climbers is definitely going to be in the game,
yeah,
for sure. And then I would definitely put a good chance on seeing another character at some point during, the 3-day E3 convention. So definitely Ice Climbers will be shown. I think it will play similarly to Smash 4 for Wii U, but I think there's going to be like a new mode or a big hook, some kind of new mechanic, something like that. Maybe graphically it's going to look different. I think it'd really look awesome if they had a new art style for the game that was completely different than what we're used to.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten pretty much as far as I think they can really go. I mean, they could obviously keep making it look slightly better, but I feel like they almost want to adopt a different style graphically.
Definitely, yeah. Maybe like a more sharper, stylized style would be kind of cool. Now, I did write down that I think that Dylan from Dylan's Rolling Western, those games, I don't play those, but I know some people like them. And Nintendo's always trying to promote those games. I do think it's possible that he could be in Smash. Maybe not shown at E3, but at some point down the line, that would be an interesting character to see. But I definitely think that the big reveal, that there's a really solid chance that it's going to be Crash Bandicoot. Could be Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie, but I think that it's too late in the game. I think that Banjo could be in Smash someday, but I don't know if it's going to be this one. But I definitely think that Crash has a really good chance since the Insane Trilogy is coming to the Switch, and that's such a big character. Like, now that they've put in, you know, Sonic and Pac-Man and Mega Man, you can't really get any bigger unless you put in Crash. Like, that's the last person left. And so I think that, I mean, that would be amazing. Like, being able to fight between Mario, Crash, Sonic, and Pac-Man, and, you know, toss Mega Man in there, would be really, really unique.
A lot of people are always like, well, you can't have this character because they're not as big as Pac-Man and all those characters. Like, well, there really isn't anyone as big as Pac-Man, Mega Man, Sonic. Like, after Crash, if you're gonna add anyone else, you kind of can't expect them to be as big as any of those guys.
Definitely, definitely. So do you think that there will be a lot of stages returning from Smash 4, or it's gonna be mostly new?
I think it'll kind of be like Splatoon 2, where it kind of borrows a lot from the last one, but I feel like it's gonna overall just feel like a new game.
Definitely.
Kind of like a new coat of paint. So I feel like it will borrow a lot, similar like to Wii U, had a lot of brawl stages in it, but I think there'll be plenty of new stuff where it won't be like people complaining about it.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. And the most important prediction of them all, do you think they will bring back tripping?
Definitely. That was I was very sad when that was removed.
It was such a charming part of the game of Brawl, for sure. All right, so do you have any other last-minute things to say about Smash before we move on?
September.
September,
I think it's gonna be online. It's gonna launch with online. That's how they're gonna get you to buy it.
I hope so. I think September, it feels kind of early, but at the same time, yeah, the online is September, so it's possible. Or maybe they want to make sure the online works, and so they're, you know, like releasing the paid version a month or two before Smash, and maybe Smash would be October, but definitely September is a solid bet, and I'm hoping that September is when it is. So, all right, moving on from Smash so we can save some time for everything else. Mario Tennis Aces, I put a 95% chance that we see an overview trailer for that. It's just going to show things we already know about since it comes out a few weeks after E3, but they'll definitely make sure to kind of shoehorn that into the Direct, at least for, I don't know, 30 to 60 seconds, something like that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. I believe they did that for ARMS, which released around then last year.
All right, so you want to take a turn now and go with your next prediction?
All right, Pokemon Let's Go. I have that on here. I don't know if they confirmed they're going to have that there yet, but I think it's going to be a lot more casual than a lot of people believe it's going to be. I think the more we see of it, it's going to just look more of like a very casualized game, because right now the main thing is that you just like flick the Pokeball at them. I think it's going to be even more casual than that, probably. I think it's going to be a lot easier than people think, and I think if you saw the trailer, they hinted at some new mystery Pokemon, and I think that's probably going to be revealed at the Treehouse.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely think that since, you know, they already showed the games ahead of time, that they're not going to talk about it much in the Direct, but I do think they'll show it, just like Mario Tennis, for like, you know, 30 seconds or a minute, and just kind of remind people that yes, it is coming to the Switch. I also think that they will mention in the Direct that it's not, that, you know, that they're still doing a Pokemon RPG like next year in 2019. I think they'll remind people that that's not the main Pokemon game, just in case, you know, they don't want to create confusion on that.
I think they'll bring the guy out again and just say again.
Pokemon is coming to Switch next year.
Let's play the same clip from last year.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, that would be great. I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. Pokemon Snap is my favorite Pokemon game, which I would love to see that for Switch. I don't think that's going to happen, so it's definitely not one of my predictions.
Yeah, I've never been a huge Pokemon guy. I like the concept probably more than the games themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Not really a turn-based RPG kind of guy. I'm sorry. So actually, the casual thing, I'm kind of actually into the idea of playing just a more casual Pokemon. And I like the idea of only like 150, actually.
Okay.
I think it's just overwhelming how many there are. It's like, well, I'm not catching all 700 of them. But, give me 150, I'll do it.
Yeah, the only like real Pokemon game I tried to play, I'm pretty sure, was Pokemon X, and I got to like the first, like, I don't know, I wiped out and lost all my Pokemon like immediately, just like fighting like a training boss or something. Like, I'm just really bad at it, and it's not my thing. But, you know, I respect the series. I think it looks really cool. It's just not personally for me. All right, so anyways, my next one is with Splatoon. Obviously, this is a deadlock, 100%. We're going to see something about Splatoon updates and the Octo expansion, which is, what, launching in June or July? Or do we have a month for that yet?
I think it's July. I don't know. I've been keeping up with the Splatoon updates as of late.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love Splatoon 2. I just don't really know that I'm going to have time for Octo expansion, so I haven't really been keeping up with it. But, I mean, it looks great. It looks cool. So it's definitely something that, you know, I'm happy to see being released.
Yeah, it's good. I just usually... Same thing happened when I played the first Splatoon. I just kind of played it, like, a lot when it launched. And the updates kind of just ignored them, because after, like, maybe a few weeks, I was kind of done with it.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, but it's still great to have, you know, especially the free updates for people that are still playing it. And I definitely plan to get back to it this summer and work
usually
on it.
I went back to the first Splatoon after like a year, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Just get back into. All of a sudden, there's like way more content than I remember.
Yeah, the first one when it launched, man, it didn't have much, but we got more as time passed. All right, so do you want to take another turn with your next prediction?
Alright, I'll just go. The next one we kind of know is Fire Emblem. That's going to be there. Not exactly a Fire Emblem person either, but I think it's going to be a really like hardcore RPG game. The kind of contrast with Pokemon Let's Go, which is like the really casual experience, like I said earlier. And I think that's going to be the December title.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. I'm glad that you brought that up because, you know, I don't really know much about Fire Emblem. I played Awakening. I didn't finish the game. And it's not really my thing, kind of like Pokemon, but I do think it will definitely be shown. I think it'll still come out in December, or it could be next year, but I kind of am hesitant about them showing gameplay. I don't know that they definitely will. For some reason, I feel like that's the one game that's going to be kind of... I don't know, like that's not going to be shown as much as people think. So I think we'll definitely see it, but if we do see like gameplay, it's not going to be very much. But you never know. I mean, it
disappeared for. They announced it in like January of last year, so it's like kind of been gone, and that's when I get hesitant and like maybe it's just not ready. Has problems.
Yeah,
not going.
Definitely. And along with that is Yoshi. The Yoshi game for Switch was shown at E3 in 2017, I believe, is when the only time that's been shown, and hasn't been shown since then. And I do think that we'll be seeing it again. We'll get a lot of gameplay. It will release in holiday 2018. I don't think that they're going to delay it into 2019. And I put like an 80% chance on that. So I think it's pretty likely that we'll see it, but there's a possibility that we won't.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be August. I think it's going to be like one of their quick turnaround titles that they announce. I feel like it's a good summer title to have around, just because I feel like having it up with Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Smash Bros. I don't think it's going to do that well. And like last year they had Mario and Rabbids, which was announced at E3 and then released in August, so it's not impossible.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, it was announced last year, which gives it even better chances. But I still, personally, I just feel like it's more of like a Thanksgiving or Christmas title. But, I mean, anything's possible. And if Smash is in September, you know, they might want to put that in August so that, you know, kind of like going back to every month having a game. And so Mario Tennis is June, and pretty sure like Octopath Traveler's in July or something like that. Unless it's also June, I'm not really sure. But you know, they're trying to do like one game a month, it sounds like, and that's pretty good, you know, strategy to have.
One more thing is, I think Yoshi's gonna look a little different than last time we saw it. I think that's probably why we haven't seen it for a while. I don't know exactly how it's gonna look, but similar to the last Yoshi game, that disappeared for like 2 years, and then they showed it again, and it was completely different.
Oh yeah.
Originally, it was just like Yarn Yoshi, like Kirby's Epic Yarn, and they completely changed around the art style and everything. So,
okay, yeah,
I think they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. That'd be really cool if it definitely had a more detailed art style.
Yeah, because that was my main problem with it the first time they showed it. Like, I like the craft art style. Like, obviously that's how I make my like sets is crafts, but it just looked very undetailed and just looked like random paper houses and like.
Yeah.
Kind of generic.
Definitely. It was kind of like just so shiny and smooth and didn't have a whole lot of extra detail into it. All right, so for my next one, I put a 90% chance. I think it's going to happen. I definitely think that the rumors about Retro making the Star Fox Grand Prix game, I'm sure you heard about those, that
Yes, I did.
I believe that's true. I think that it's going to look very pretty. You know, maybe some people will be like, oh, I don't really want this game, but I think everyone will be able to agree that it's one of the best looking games on the Switch. I could be totally wrong about that, and it could be like Star Fox Zero, where it's just like looks terrible. But I think that Retro has a pretty good track record of making some of the prettiest games on the respective consoles. So I do think though, after it is announced, whether it be at a treehouse or just during a Q&A session, I think that someone at Nintendo will confirm that it is not the only game that Retro is working on. I think it's one of the 2 games that they're working on, and I think that we'll see their other game sometime next year, possibly at E3 next year or some other time, but I think their other game will be a new IP, and I think that this is just one of their 2 games.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because it was always... What I didn't believe about the rumor was that after like 4 years that all Retro would be working on would be a spin-off like kart racer kind of game.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm like, well, that can't be it. But actually, in my prediction, I don't think it's real. I think it's yeah, I'm gonna...
It's a bold prediction.
Yeah, a little more bold of a prediction, but I mean, there have been a lot of mumblings about people hearing about it, similar to the Mario and Rabbids game, but just gonna take a bold prediction here and just say it's not real. I think Retro's working fully on a new IP, which I think will be revealed at the show.
Yeah, well, one way or the other, we're definitely gonna see what Retro's been working on, because it's been far too long. And I mean, again, I feel like it's just like the Mario and Rabbids situation. It's just kind of a weird game that no one expected, and I think like that it'll probably come out in August, personally, and so I do think that Yoshi would be more of a holiday, and that Star Fox would be the August title. And once again, I think that this is not even half of Retro working on this game. I feel like it's more of, you know, a quarter or a third of their development efforts going into it, and everything else is going to the new IP. And then as soon as this game releases, they'll all move over to help work on the finishing touches of the new IP.
Yeah. All right. Next is I think the Kirby update number 2 will be out and released like during the week of E3. I think they're gonna finally show like the last character.
Okay.
If you've been keeping up with those.
Yeah, like a little bit, not too much, but I do see, you know, people talking about those Kirby characters from time to time, and I'm usually a little bit confused because I don't have the game. But
oh yes, as someone who's played like every Kirby game, it's like all fan service actually.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's definitely something to anticipate. Metroid Prime 4, you know, a lot of people, like I think Arlo was saying in his predictions that he doesn't think we're going to see anything from it, and I just completely disagree. I think that it's very important for Nintendo to show something. So at the very least, there will be a cinematic trailer. I fully 100% believe that we will at least see a trailer that's, even if it's just made for a trailer, like if it's just rendered to be a trailer, we will see at least a cinematic trailer. But I do think there will be some gameplay. I'd put like 75% chance on seeing gameplay and like 100% chance on seeing something. I do think it will come out in 2019. I think it'll say 2019 at the end of the trailer, just a very vague 2019. And I think it will be the last Metroid Prime game, and I feel like there's a chance that at some point during the show in a Q&A session or something that someone will mention that, but you know, maybe not. But either way, I do think it will be the last Prime game for sure.
I basically agree with everything you just said. Yeah, I think it's going to be shown with some gameplay, but I think it's mostly going to be like a teaser. I don't think we're going to get any like blowout. I feel like if it's releasing 2019, like showing it E3 of next year would be a little too late to show it, and I definitely don't see them revealing it in any like little direct. It kind of has to be at E3 to reveal it.
And next E3 is way too late, because then they can't just. That's not the kind of game to reveal and then release a few months later. If they don't show it till next year, they can't release it till 2020 probably.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought process. It has to be at E3, and if it's next year, June is going to be too late to show it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I kind of feel like they just got to show it. They'll probably not be any directs, but then next year they'll probably show it again, and that's when they like have the big blowout before it releases.
Yeah, that's perfect. Definitely. So showing a little bit this year, and then next year they'll have it playable on the show floor, and then it'll come out sometime after E3 in 2019. But this year, yeah, it definitely won't be playable, but I do think that that we'll have something. Or they might just surprise us, and it might be playable, and they'll be like, hey, it comes out in November, and I'll be like, what? Like, how is this even possible that you made it this fast? But I don't think that's going to happen.
So have you played the other Metroid Prime games?
Yeah, I love the first one. I've played and beat it several times. I've beat the second one time, and I don't really like the third one. I've never managed to finish it just because I tend to get kind of bored during it, which I don't know. A lot of people like the third one, but either way, I'm very excited for the fourth one just because, you know, the graphical capabilities of it will be great, I would assume, and you know everyone's gonna be playing it at the same time, so I'm definitely excited to see it.
I've just been confused because I've played through the entire trilogy, and it kind of just ends with like Dark Samus, the Metroid Prime, being destroyed. So I don't know if they're keeping the name for the sake of its recognition or what they really plan on doing, but I don't know how it's really Prime 4.
Yeah, I guess they'll have to kind of undo some of what's been done, or maybe they found a new way to have a good continuation of the story, but I feel like it'll be more like the Prime games and gameplay than anything else.
Yeah. I think it's just the recognition of the name that they kind of have to call it Prime, or people are going to be like, well, is this another 2D game? Or
yeah. All right, so what's your next prediction?
All right. This is my first kind of... Well, I don't want to say it's my first bold one, but Pikmin 4 will finally be revealed.
That was my next one, too.
Oh, all right. I think Olimar will be the main character again.
Okay.
I think there's going to be new Pikmin types shown. Like, maybe just, this is a random one, a neon one. Maybe you can see in the dark or something. You have to navigate through caves or something. And spring 2019.
Okay, interesting. I agree. A Pikmin 4 trailer with some gameplay will be shown. Miyamoto will be talking at some point about it. And I do think it will come out in the fall. I think it's a 2018 game. And I do think that there will be a lot of local, like, on-the-go co-op gameplay for people that are out and about with their Switches to be able to, like, connect, and maybe something kind of like Pokemon, how that works, or at the very least you'll be able to work on levels together while you're sitting next to each other in a car or on a train or something like that. So I mean, it's a pretty easy prediction, but yeah. Where we differ is you say 2019, I say 2018. So we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
The last... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
It's just kind of weird. They announced it back in, I believe, 2015 when they said it was almost done. So it's kind of like...
Well, that's when Miyamoto said that it was almost done. So, I mean, it wasn't official, but I'm thinking that they were probably making it for Wii U. And then they decided, well, Wii U is not selling well. Let's just do it for Switch and hold it back until a good time to release it. So that's what I think's going on with it.
But is now really the time to release it?
Yeah, I mean... I think in the fall they're going to want to have one game per month, and so if you can put Pikmin in there, you can put the Pokemon ones, and you can put Smash Brothers and then Yoshi, then that pretty much fills up your fall. And then maybe the Retro Studios game or Fire Emblem will also be in there, and so that definitely lets you have one game a month from like June until December, or August until December.
All right,
but we'll see. I also think, of course, we'll see plenty of indie games, third-party games. I don't want to talk about those too much because gotta not go too long on this discussion, but definitely Fortnite will be there, I believe that. I think it'll come out very soon after the Direct, potentially even the same day, but it could be a few days later. I've seen some rumors about that, and I think that would be an interesting thing to happen. I also think that Spyro, the Spyro trilogy, will be announced for the Switch, and that it'll have some special content.
Yeah, I think we'll see both of those. I think Fortnite will be kind of like the Rocket League of this year, where last year they kind of had just like a trailer they opened up and kind of showed off some indies and Rocket League and all that. Definitely.
Also, another thing that we haven't talked about yet that's pretty likely is Super Mario Odyssey having DLC. We haven't seen any paid DLC for the game yet, so I do think it will be delivered like how Mario Kart 8 was delivered, there will be 2 different packages. One will release in the summer, one will release in the winter, and you can just pay for both, or you can pay for one of them. They'll come with costumes, they'll come with some new locations, and like maybe 100 moons each, something like that. I don't want to say that Mario Sunshine's Isle Delfino will be one of them. I want it to be. I just don't think it's going to be, but again, like, I hope it is. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't have that on here. I'd say if they do reveal it, it would definitely have to be in Treehouse. I don't see them spending time on that in the actual presentation.
Okay, yeah, that's possible. Again, I think we differ there. Like, I don't think they'll show much of it. I think it'll just be like a 30-second thing where they're just like, hey, we're doing DLC for Mario Odyssey, and this is what it looks like. But you'll have to check back later for like pricing details and all that.
That just kind of depends on the format. If it's like the quick headline one, or if they're gonna go kind of slower on the games, they might just focus on a few.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So for your next one,
Animal Crossing will not be shown in this direct.
Yeah, I agree.
But it will be shown probably later down the line. I don't know. Probably next year. I don't see them revealing it at E3. I don't think it has to be at E3. As much as I do like Animal Crossing.
It's going to make a lot of people mad.
Yeah, it might make a few people mad. I just feel like if you look through the list of games, we already got Smash Bros, Pokemon, Fire Emblem, Yoshi, Metroid, possibly Star Fox. It's like, it just feels like there's too much like going on at once that it'd just be kind of buried in everything else.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. I think that Animal Crossing, yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll be at the Direct. I don't think it'll be at E3 at all. And I do think it'll make people mad, but I think that they'll reveal it this year, honestly, later in the year, as its own special Direct type of thing. And because of the same reasons you said, there's too much other bigger stuff being announced. And I've heard some other people say, too, that Animal Crossing isn't really a good E3 game. You know, it's something that you're not really going to demo it on the show floor. It's more of something that you just want to see for yourself. And so I think it'll
no one wants to wait in line to play, like, 15 minutes and just be bankrupt by Tom Nook. It's not a good time.
Yeah, definitely. So I would agree that that'll be... Not to fear, it'll probably be coming out in 2019, maybe in the spring, but I do think it'll be announced later. Okay, and then, yeah, Bayonetta 3, definitely, that's a easy thing I've heard a lot of people talking about. That'll be there, so we can kind of just say that one and move on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't have any vested interest in the Bayonetta series, but...
Yeah, same here.
All right. My next one, I'm going into my bold predictions now, the things that aren't very likely. Put a 50% shot on a 2D Zelda game. It could be a remake of Link's Awakening, like we've been hearing about, or it could be an entirely new 2D game. I want it to be for Switch, and I think it'll be for Switch, but I also have a kind of weird feeling that it'll end up being for 3DS, and it'll be like the last like real first-party game that's not a port, such as Luigi's Mansion, and I think it'll come out in holiday 2018 as kind of the swan song for the 3DS. And again, you know, we're already having Metroid, Pokemon, Smash Brothers. We're having so many big games that maybe a Zelda doesn't really fit, but I do think it's going to be a small, like, kind of more low-budget Zelda game, kind of like Link Between Worlds was.
Yeah, I could see that. There's been rumors of, like, a Link's Awakening remake. I could see that as, like, a last 3DS game, but I feel like there might be one last, like, big 3DS game, and I think that'll be probably it. They've mostly just been doing ports to kind of keep, so they can say they're still releasing games, but they're really not.
Yeah, and I think that's why they haven't said the 3DS is done, and that's why they're still filling in the time with some ports, is I think that they've been working on one big game that they have left for it, and a Link's Awakening remake makes sense, because, you know, they could just use the same people that worked on the Link Between Worlds, which is kind of like a, you know, a reimagining of A Link to the Past, and so I think that Link's Awakening, they could do a reimagining of that, and that it would do really well, and I would love that, because Link Between Worlds is my favorite Zelda game to date, and people call me crazy for saying that, but it still is. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's really like they're just stretching out the life, honestly. I remember, I think it was in the March Direct that they announced the Mario and Luigi remake, and they just straight out were like 2019. Like, why?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's crazy.
They kind of just revealed, and like they hadn't even revealed like anything else for 2019. They're just like 2019 out of nowhere. It's like, this game looks done. What do you mean 2019?
Why does it take them so long to do that? And they had already done the first Mario and Luigi, so like
I think it's done, honestly. I think it's just stretching out so they can kind of stretch out the release schedule.
Because maybe they're working on a big game that'll be, I guess maybe next summer. So now that you reminded me of that, if they do announce Zelda for 3DS, it won't be holiday 2018. It'll definitely be 2019.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And now it's back to your turn.
Alright, this one's not very bold. I think we're going to see Mario Party again. Feels like, I think it's every like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, not that exciting, honestly. But I think if Nintendo can keep making decent choices, maybe the players won't be in a car this time, and it can be an actual Mario Party.
Yeah. So I have that. I would say I don't think it's going to be there. If it is, it's not really going to be shown. It'll be one of those things where it's not even like in the direct, but then you just find out, oh, actually Mario Party 11's out, has been announced. But I don't think they'll call it Mario Party 11. It'll be Mario Party Switch. I think, though, that it's not going to be there. I think that they're finally going to improve Mario Party, and the way they're going to do that is that they're going to take more time to make the next one, and I think that there will only be one for the Switch, and I think that's the way it should be at this point. It's just make it like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. Have one Mario Party on each console, but you can have DLC for it, you can have, updates, and make it more like a platform. And so Mario Party Switch would maybe come out in like 2019 or something like that, and it would be a lot better because they would actually spend more than a year making it.
Yeah, that could probably work. I still want the top 100 on the Switch, honestly. I like the concept of just having the old games.
Well, the concept's great. Yeah, it's just the execution was bad.
Yeah, get just normal Mario Party, but make all the mini games like the top 100 ones.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. No, and don't get me wrong, I hope Mario Party's there. I don't know that it will be. And I'll be happy to see it even if it is still a bad one, because honestly, just to have a party game on the Switch, even if it's still the car mechanic, I'd still get it, because as long as the mini games are good, that's what's most important to me.
Yeah, Switch kind of works perfectly for that.
Definitely. Yeah, because you can have the local multiplayer at home on your TV, or you can just go out and play with other people on your Switch.
Yeah, they just have like a really quick mini game mode you can just start up.
All right, my next one is it's basically my last one, besides my anti-predictions, which are the ones that I think have no chance of happening. So the last one that I thought of that I think has a chance of happening, and is the one that I want to happen more than anything, and I always hope for it, but it never really works out, is of course Paper Mario. I think I put a 30% chance that something Paper Mario related will be announced. It could be Paper Mario as a playable character in Smash Brothers. It could be a port of the Thousand Year Door. And what I'm worried about with those is if those happen, I have a feeling that Paper Mario and Smash Brothers would be based on like Color Splash Paper Mario, and so it would just make me disappointed. With a port of Thousand Year Door, I'm worried that they would mess up the art style and make it kind of like how Color Splash is, which, like, Color Splash is beautiful. It's a beautiful art style, but I just mean like Mario's outline has that white outline instead of the black one, and I'm super picky about that. So I'd be cautiously optimistic if they did announce a port of Thousand Year Door. They could announce a port of the first game. I would prefer that. I'd rather see that one get remade since it is older and needs it more, but I'd take it either way. I'm also worried that if they announce a port of Thousand Year Door, that it ends up being for 3DS. If that happens, I'm going to literally kill someone. I cannot handle that kind of betrayal. Like, if it gets the Luigi's Mansion treatment, I'm gonna be so disappointed, because it'll be so bad, man. Like, I gotta get that for Switch, and at this point, and I do think it's like a 15% chance that they announce an entirely new Paper Mario game for Switch, but I think that's not going to be ready yet, so I think another year, and they would definitely be doing that. So in the meantime, a port is the way to go. I would prefer a port because I don't trust them to make a new game, and so I would rather them just re-release one of the first two so that at least I can enjoy it in HD.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with like the release schedule for Paper Mario games, but I believe we'll probably get one next year. The only one I've ever played is Super Paper Mario, actually.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
Played all
play
the way
Thousand
through
Year
that
Door, and so that's why they gotta re-release it, man. And
Yeah, that's... See, I never had a GameCube. I was a PlayStation 2 kid, so that's why I want Virtual Console, because I have never played, like, the GameCube library, aside from, like, Melee and my cousins.
they would make so much money if they put the GameCube games on there and charge like $20 for each one, but it looks like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, that's why it's irritating to me, because that's like the one generation I completely missed out on, and you got games like Luigi's Mansion, Kirby Air Ride, Thousand Year Door, Sunshine. I've never played any of those.
The GameCube
really
is my
want
favorite
to.
library. It's my absolute favorite.
And it's basically locked away from me, and no matter how many times they keep saying they'll like do Virtual Console for GameCube, it never comes, and it's very irritating.
Oh man, yeah. You gotta, I don't know, just try to buy a GameCube or a Wii and then just get the games. But some of them are expensive now, so it's hard to find. Okay, but yeah, Color Splash came out in 2016 in the fall. So usually they're like 3 or 4 years apart, and Intelligent Systems couldn't have started working on another one until, you know, the end of 2016. And so I feel like at the earliest we wouldn't see it till sometime next year, probably not even at E3. They'll probably just announce it in January, and super terribly they'll just be like, oh, and by the way, we're making another crappy Paper Mario, so you guys should all buy it.
I mean, if it's a remake though,
Now,
I don't know if it would take 2 years. My prediction is that we're getting Thousand Year Door remade next year.
Okay. Do you think they'll announce it at E3 though?
No.
Oh, okay. And you think it'll be for Switch?
Yeah, I think we'll get it for Switch next year, because they have Mario and Luigi on the DS, and I feel like then they'll have, for RPG Mario on the Switch, they're gonna have Paper Mario remade.
Oh god, I hope so.
Maybe third time's the charm, and they'll realize people don't want those other games.
I don't know. I don't think that they're gonna release another Color Splash. Like I think that the next one that's original will at least be better. It may not. It's probably not going to be as good as like the first 2 or 3 games, but I think they'll at least somewhat learn their lesson, and they'll at least try to make it better. I don't think it'll work, but it'll at least be better than Color Splash and Sticker Star.
I mean, after Mario Odyssey and all that.
Yeah, and Zelda, like they're kind of learning.
Yeah, they kind of know what people are wanting. I mean, we're finally getting Metroid. Yeah,
definitely.
So.
Okay, do you have any other things you think are going to happen before we run through the things that we definitely don't think are going to happen real fast?
That's pretty much it. I think we kind of going in knowing a lot of what we're already going to get. I feel like some people might be disappointed by how many surprises there are, because I don't think there are going to be that many.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get like one big shocking surprise, but I don't think we're going to be seeing a bunch of games, because we have a lot we already know that we haven't gotten.
It's kind of like that for Sony
yet,
too,
so.
As most of the games that are being shown are games that we already know about, so there's not a whole lot of new announcements, but what we do know about is pretty substantial. So some things that I don't think will be there. The Direct will not show anything Nintendo Labo related. I do think that there will be a third kit that's just set up behind a display case on the show floor, and that people just kind of look at it and they're like, hey, Labo, nobody really cares about that, but, you know, cool. Yes, it'll just kind of be
like
there,
Amiibo.
and nobody will be talking about it, but there will be like pictures online and things like that. Again, like what you said, Animal Crossing will not be shown. They will probably mention it, possibly, but, you know, later in the year they'll show it. No Mother 3. The Nintendo 64 Classic that's rumored will not be shown in the Direct. It could be just like with Labo, though, where it's just sitting behind a display case on the show floor. Is cool. And no Luigi's Mansion 3. That's something a lot of people want. But I do believe that they will be making one for the Switch, and I think it's in development, but I don't think we'll see it till next year.
Yeah, it could be. I was wanting to make that prediction, but after like they're making the first one, I don't see them releasing 2 Luigi's Mansion games like around the same time.
Nope, no way. But I think they're re-releasing the first one because they're making a third one.
Yeah.
And so they'll re-release the first one, and then a few months later they'll announce the third one, which will come out like in maybe Halloween time of 2019. And I think we'll see it get announced next E3.
Yep.
All right, cool. Anything else?
Nothing big, really. No. I think that's about everything I got.
All right, so in closing of everything we've talked about, and of the other companies too, as far as like Sony and Microsoft goes, what excites you the most? Like, what are the 3 things that you're most excited to see?
Smash Bros. #1. Always be my most excited thing. Probably Metroid. Been waiting for a new Metroid game since I don't even know how long it's been now. I actually got into Metroid in back in the Wii U days. That's when I first saw it. I actually discovered it, and I played all of them. Then I kind of ran out of them to play. And then probably the Kirby update, actually.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, of the things that we know about, those are definitely 3 solid entries. Unfortunately, I always am a little bit disappointed at E3 because the things I'm most excited about are things that aren't confirmed to be there and probably won't be there. So, in theory, I'm most excited about, Paper Mario and the 2D Zelda, but again, that's just my own imagination because they're probably not going to be there. Of the things that will most likely be there, I would have to put Smash Brothers also as my #1. Pikmin 4 would be my #2, and then Metroid Prime 4 would be my #3. Pikmin, I'm definitely very excited for that. And then as far as non-Nintendo games go, Spyro is definitely my #1. And then I'm interested to see the Spider-Man for PS4 as well. I think.
Oh yeah, that'll probably be the only reason I watch PlayStation. Except, they'll probably have Spyro there too, maybe.
Yeah, Spyro, Spider-Man, and Last of Us Part 2. All 3 of those will be games I'll be getting. So definitely excited for Sony's conference and Nintendo's Direct. And overall, Smash Brothers might be my #1, but it just depends. They could surprise me. They could put in a Link's Awakening remake or a 1,000 Year Door remake for Switch, and then I would just lose my mind. So
I always watch Ubisoft's conference for maybe someday they'll reveal a new Rayman game. Watch the past 3 or 4 years every time, just nothing.
I would love that. And
watch.
with Rayman Legends, now that they put it on Switch and stuff, it just makes me think that they're not gonna be doing it. There's just not enough talk around it and hype.
Yeah.
I would love it. I would love it so much, but I don't even think that Rayman Legends sold well on any console, and so I just don't think it's gonna happen.
It could. The guy that makes Beyond Good and Evil, Michel Ancel, he's the guy that makes Rayman. He actually said on Instagram a few months ago that he's interested in making the next one once he's done with Beyond Good and Evil. So he's at least said he wants to make the 4th one. So that's something.
Just gotta hope for it. Yeah. So maybe in a few years, but we'll just have to wait and see. All right. Well, I think that's everything I have and everything you have, right?
Yep.
Okay, so guys, thank you so much for watching if you're still here, and once again, you should check out his channel. I'll definitely link to that, and once E3 is passed, I'll probably do another discussion with somebody else I got planned to be able to talk about the announcements that do come to pass, but it'll be interesting to see, as far as our discussion we've just had, what things happen and what things don't. And definitely when Pikmin 4 comes out, because is it going to be fall or is it going to be spring? We don't really know. We're on different sides of that fence, so we'll just have to wait and see. But I can't wait personally. I'm not as hyped as I used to be when I was younger, but I'm still pretty hyped to see what happens. And I'll be, sitting in front of the computer the whole day next Tuesday. And unfortunately, it sounds like you will be out of town, so you won't be able to see much of what's going on, right?
Yep. I'll be avoiding spoilers being offline the entire day.
Yeah, I'll message you on Twitter and I'll be like, hey, look, it's
oh, yeah.
Rayman's back and he's in Smash. Look at that.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you once again for joining, and thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.